Hello and welcome back to this channel. In this video, I'll be discussing another very important poem by LS Rokade. The title of the poem is To Be or Not to Be Born. So in this poem, we can see there is a hypothetical scenario wherein the unborn baby is questioning the mother. The question is quite simple. He's questioning that, mother, should I be born in this land or no? Because the baby now, the poet or the speaker in this poem understands that if the baby is born in this world world full of discrimination for Dalit people, the baby of course will not have a great future to look forward to. That's why the baby is puzzled. He's asking a question, a very important question: mother, should I be born in a land where I will have no respect, no dignified life? So again, let us start with this poem. In the first line, the speaker says, mother, you used to tell me when I was born your labor was very long. So now the speaker is saying that, mother, I remember that when you talk to me about my birth, you always tell me that your labor was very long. You were having so many complications when I was about to be born. The reason, mother, the reason for your long labor, I still in your womb was wondering. So now the speaker says that there was one reason, because uh, as your labor was very long, the reason was quite simple. Because in your womb, I was confused. Confused regarding what? Do I want to be born? Do I want to be born at all in this land? I was puzzled. Should I be born in this land? Should I take birth in this land? So why the baby is confused again is quite simple, because the baby knows that if I were to be born as a Dalit, I will have again no dignified life, no respect in my entire life. Even if I achieve something, people will say that he has achieved because of reservation or because some undue advantage. And again, there will be very less opportunities altogether. People will not give me any chance to succeed. Yes, so after that, in the next stanza, the speaker says, where all path raised horizon words. So again, India again is a very developing country, and there is a plethora of opportunities now. So all paths raised horizon words means that there is a lot of scope for growth, and there is a lot of scope for people to succeed. People who have talent can succeed, but to me were barred. So again, but these paths who are going upwards, these paths of growth, they are there of course, but they are only for some specific people. But for me, a person who comes from a Dalit family, for that person these paths are barred. I have no entry to venture into these paths and seek my success, to find my success. All of you lay eyes fixed on the sky and then shut them, saying calmly, yes, the sky has a prop, a prop. And again, the other Dalits, they just look at the sky and they ignore it. They say that the sky is just there, and we as people, we as Dalit people, we of course can't reach them. It is again out of our reach. So again, we take this success, this growth for granted. We feel that being a Dalit, we don't have any right to claim this success, because for centuries people have denied that as a Dalit, these are your duties, and you can't even dream of pursuing any other job. For example, if a Dalit person wants to be an IAS officer, there will be many people who will, criticize that person, who will say that you don't deserve to be that person. Your caste will not allow you to be on such a position. So many things are there regarding that. Your body covered with generations of dire poverty. So now the baby is speaking to his mother. The baby says, I know that for generations your body is covered with dire poverty. So see, now you just observe this pronoun, your body. So your body is not only the mother's body here. So again, these pronouns are a very important part of the literature. For example, your here represents a collective experiences of the people. So your doesn't only mean that the mother of the speaker, it is again all the Dalit people. They have carried forward these generations of poverty. Your head pillowed on a constant need, And again, your head was always having this weight of constant need. For example, if you don't work for today, you will have no food to eat. You will not survive to see the tomorrow's sun shining. So again, you are used to live in such conditions that if you don't work today, you will have no food to eat on that particular night. So again, you have seen generations of poverty, generations of dire conditions, not just you, but all the Dalit women, all the Dalit men as well, all Dalit families, they have similar experiences. You slept at night, and in the day you writhed. And again, you slept at night with no hope for tomorrow. But in the day, you're always working. There is not a moment for you to take a rest and think about your future. Again, writhed meaning again there is uh, working tirelessly, working without any rest, with empty fist tied to your breast. And again, you work for this long, but even after that, at the end of the day, your fists are empty. Your hands, again, they have nothing in them. They are empty. Empty fists you have, because as we know that this hard work has no value uh, in the upper class people's eyes, and they feel that we are supposed to do such work, and there is no bad thing in they forcing us to do all kinds of petty works. And again, at the end of the day, her hands are empty. The mother's hands are empty even after working for so long, so hard. The hands are empty. Here you are not supposed to say that every human being comes from the union of man and woman. And again, we know the theory of Darwin. We know how reproduction works. Every human being is born because of a union of a man and a woman, right? But in the case of Dalits, it is not true. Again, it is true, of course, but people say that the upper class powers, they say that it is not true. Dalit people are born from Brahma's feet, and again, their only purpose is to serve the upper caste. So that's why we don't take. And again, the one more meaning of this line, that we are not born because of a union of a man and woman, it hints that Dalit peoples are not humans. And of course, these are again very regressive ideas. People believe that Dalits are not human beings, they are just like animals who can be exploited at the will of man, at the will of other human beings. So again, these are very regressive ideas, and the boy is saying that because of such ideas, I was puzzled whether should I take birth on this land in this country, or should I not take birth in this land. So here, the next stanza. Here, nobody dare broaden the beaten track. And again, this beaten track means that the customs which are being followed for generations, the same rules and regulations for Dalits. And again, and nobody dares to question these rules and regulations. Nobody dares to question these customs, these blind beliefs that if a shadow of a Dalit falls on a Brahmin, he has to go and take a bath to purify himself. So nobody questions these things, and that's why it is a beaten track, and nobody dares broaden the beaten track. Nobody dares to question or rectify these problems in our society. You ran round and round yourself, exclaiming, yes, of course, the earth is round. Mother, this is your land flowing with water. And again, we know that Dalit people, you ran round and round yourself, exclaiming, yes, of course, the earth is round. And again, earth is round, meaning again, so we can see a very beautiful simile here. The earth is round, meaning what goes from here, it will again go roam around and come back here. For example, if you work hard, you will get success at the end of the day. If you're bad to other people, and again, bad things will happen to you. But this analogy is not true in the case of Dalits. Of course, I will take a very basic example to understand this. See, for example, a menial worker, a scavenger per se. A scavenger works very hard, right? But for his hard work, what is he getting? He works hard for 20 years. And again, even after a hard work of 20 years, he is getting almost nothing as a payback, as a fruit for his hard work. He is getting nothing. But for the people who discriminate against Dalit people for centuries, they have done that. And what do they have got as a punishment in back? So this earth is round, or what goes around comes back. This doesn't apply to Dalit people. So after that, the next stanza again is very important. Mother, this is your land flowing with water. Rivers break their banks, lakes brim over, and you, one of the human race, must shed blood, struggle, and strike for a palm full of water. So again, very hard-hitting lines. So the baby or the speaker says that in this land, in this country, there are numerous rivers are there, plenty of water is available for all its subjects to drink, but and again, let us discuss this further. Rivers break their banks. So there is so much water that even the dams can't contain, even the rivers can't contain the amount of water that they have. But you, who is a Dalit person, and again, you are one of the human race, right? You are a part of human race. You are as human as a Brahmin person, but still, if you have to take some part of that water, some section of that water, you must shed blood. You have to walk for tens of miles, okay, just to get a palm full of water. You have to struggle, you have to strike, you have to struggle, you have to go on strikes, you have to request other people for what? Just for a palm full of water. And again, the poet reminds that there is no scarcity of water in this land. A lot of water is available for free, okay, to be drunk by all its subjects. But again, just because they belong to a particular section, a particular category, they are not allowed to take their share of the drinking water. And again, the poet is again asking question, should I be born in such a land? Of course, the god has given water to all the subjects, right? All the animals, even the animals are not being discriminated. If animals can go and drink water from any lake they want, but if a Dalit person does that, people believe that if a Dalit person touches the water, he may pollute the water altogether. So again, Dalits, they fall even beneath the animals, as per, of course, the upper class notions about purity and impurity. So again, the next few lines are very powerful, very hard language is used. He says, the poet says, I spit on this great civilization. And again, now he says that people call this civilization as a great civilization, a Mahan Desh, right? A great civilization. But he says, I spit on this civilization because I don't feel that this civilization, this country is great, because this country doesn't even treat its people equally. This country treats some people as very superior people and some people as very regressive, very inferior people who are not people at all, who are not human beings at all. So is this land yours, mother? And now again, the baby is asking the question before the baby is born. He's asking a question, is this land yours, mother? So again, you live in this country, of course, but is this land yours? Does this land have any place for you, for people like you? So he's asking a very important question here. Because you were born here, so just because you were born here, is this land yours? He's asking again a very important question. Because if this land was yours, you would not be treated as an alien on your own motherland, right? So again, he's asking a very fundamental question. And now he further asks the question, is it mine because I was born to you? Just because I was born to you, does this land become mine? Is it my mother land now? Should I call this as my Matrubhumi, my motherland? Must I call this great land mine, love it, sing its glory? So just because I am born here, should I call this land, my country? Should I love it? Should I show my patriotism towards the country? And should I sing its glory? Should I sing songs about the greatness of my country? Should I praise my country all the time? But now again, he says, I can't do that. Sorry, mother, but truth to tell, I must confess. But again, I can't lie to you now because I have had enough of this, propaganda that this country is very great and there are no problems. So sorry, mother, but to tell truth, I must confess. I wondered, should I be born into this land? So again, these lines again they express a very important message from this poem. He says that you call this country a great country and you call this your motherland, but I don't take this country as my motherland. I don't think that this country is great at all. This country is not as great as people call it, because again there are so many problems, especially problems with regard to discrimination. So when there are so many problems, how can we call a country as a great country, a great civilization? We can't do that. So that's why he says, I must tell you the truth. I don't consider this country as a great country. And again, leave about taking this country as great country. I don't want to be born here at all. I'm having this question. I am puzzled. Should I be born here? Should I be born into this land? So this question is constantly bothering me. Of course, I don't take this country as great civilization at all. But again, I have this question in my mind. Should I be born in this land? Should I be born at all in this land? So again, with the last line, we come back to the first stanza of the poem. And again, your labor was very long. So again, all this conversation, all this dialogue has happened when the baby was still there in the mother's womb. So in that state, the baby was having all these thoughts that my mother works so hard but she gets nothing in return. There is so much water in this country, but again that water is not available to us. There are so many opportunities coming up in this country, but again those doors, those paths are always closed for Dalit people. So again that's why the mother was having a long labor, because the baby was going through all these questions. And again, of course, this should not be taken literally. The baby can't, of course, think about all these things. This is again a very metaphorical poem wherein he explains that the upcoming generation, they have no future. Okay, they must be puzzled. Okay, they must be puzzled. They must be questioning themselves. Should I be born in this land? Because if I am born as a Dalit, again, I'll have no life at all in this country. So again, this was the poem. If you have any doubts about any particular line or any particular stanza from this poem, you feel free to just comment that down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.